Hey everyone, going to take a look at the new Speedsters Nominating Contract pack on eFootball. I've already done reviews for the other two Nominating Contract packs that have just been released. There's the J League Player of the Month and there's the Turkish Super League Player of the Month. So those videos are already live on the channel if you want to check those out. I will also be doing another video after this one. I'll be reviewing the two match pass players, and I'll also do a summary of which players I recommend signing with 3, 4 and 5 star nominating contracts. So for this pack, as always, I'll put timestamps in the description. So if there's a particular player you want to hear about, click the description and there'll be a link to take you straight to them. So we've got 8 players. We'll have a look at them on eFootball Hub, see how we can train them up. And we'll start with the low rated ones. So we've got a couple of 4 stars in. There's Portu and Adama Traoré. So Portu, he is actually in Player of the Week this week. I did a review of that pack, that's live on the channel. As I mentioned in that video, pretty similar overall, the two versions of him. But the pros and cons, basically this guy can be trained. You can put skill trainers on him, you can use position trainers on him, and you can obviously train him however you want in terms of allocating his training points. But on the flip side, the Player of the Week one, it's got a booster that makes him slightly better when he's got A form, and they also added a bunch of skills to that one. So you can add your own skills to this, but it's pros and cons. Depends which you prefer, I guess. But as for this card, though, it's pretty tidy. We've got the whole player. Whole player will be an active play style, centre mid, attacking mid, and right mid. It won't be active as a right winger. I would imagine he'll be pretty effective still, though, as a right winger, even without a play style. He's got pace. The offensive awareness should at 80 with the game plan boost. Tidy on the ball. He's got a little bit of end product as well. The finishing's not brilliant. If we do just have a look down at the skills here, in terms of end product, it's really just long range drive. And for a right footer, that's not overly useful playing on the right. He can't play on the left unless he uses position trainers to make him fully proficient on the left. If he did do that, I think he could be pretty effective with the pace, the fact that he's decent on the ball and having long range drive, cutting in onto his right foot from the left. But as it is, he's playing either through the centre or on the right. I don't think he's anywhere near good enough defensively to play centre mid, but as an attacking mid with the whole player playing style, I think he could do a job there. Wide right, he does have outside curler, so if you cut him inside with him, you set him up carefully for a long range curler with his outside curler, could be effective. Yeah, I'm going to just hit that game plan boost and we'll see what we've got with him. So depends whether you've got one of those top managers, the kind of 88 rated ones. As you see there, you need a boost of 3 on dribbling and tight possession to get them up to the 90 mark. If you don't have one of those top managers, then you might only get up to 89. But as I mentioned, I mean, he's got that low centre of gravity, 168 centimeters, great pace, good on the ball, balance is decent, not amazing but decent. He's going to feel nice on the ball. He's going to be nimble. He's going to be responsive. He's got decent low pass, not amazing though, and he doesn't have one touch pass or through passing. So the question, one question will be, I think, end product. I think that's the only real question with this guy. Depends where you're going to use him and how you're going to use him. If you're going to use him through the middle as an attacking midfielder, I would probably take a few away from his dribbling and stick him on his passing. Maybe just do that. I think you do need to get his passing up a little bit. You see that you can get up to 88. I think that's a worthwhile improvement if you're going to use him as an AMF. I do think it'd be neat there with the whole player playing style, but skill-wise, you'd want to put one touch pass and through passing on him. I think those two skills more than any would be important if you used him there. But I do think it'd be pretty effective there. He's going to feel pretty neat on the ball. He's got decent offensive awareness. And like I said, with the passing, pushing that up a little bit, I think that'd be worthwhile. It could be very nice in that position. If you're going to play him down the right, I don't think passing is going to be as important. You could take a whole bunch off his passing. It's finishing up. He's already got great pace. He's tidy on the ball. I'd probably just do that, to be honest. So we get that dribbling back up again. Speed and acceleration, good offensive awareness, good finishing as well. Still low pass over 80. I'd probably do that playing wide right, to be honest. I don't think it's really worth putting pinpoint crossing on him, even if you play him on the right-hand side, because his lofted pass is pretty poor. Pinpoint crossing would improve it, but it still wouldn't be great. I think he's more somebody going to have on the wing, sort of cutting inside, getting into good positions. He'll be able to take chances with the 80 finishing. And if you put the skills on him, he could create chances for sure. One touch pass and through passing might be worth putting, I don't know, first time shot, long range shooting on him. But yeah, just a slight question mark on the end product really. But there's a few ways you could train this guy. I think the most important thing is he's going to feel really nice on the ball. Low centre of gravity, pace, dribbling, a little bit of balance about him. I think he could be pretty neat attacking mid or wide right, but wherever you do use him, he probably does need 1 or 2 skills. So yeah, a decent card. Should feel pretty nice for people who like dribbling. But probably needs 1 or 2 skills, and it might be worth putting 1 or 2 position trains on him as well to really get the most out of him, because there's other positions he could be really effective in as well, wide left or SS. But yeah, as he is, maybe needs the skills, maybe 1 or 2 question marks there, but ultimately I think it's a pretty tidy card. And next we have a speedster, if ever there was one. We've got Adama Traoré. So, like with Portu, is a 4-star card. Ignore the graphic on eFootball Hub. Both Portu and this guy are 4-star cards. They'll only require a 4-star nominating contract. And it's not difficult to identify the strengths and weaknesses with this guy. Strength, he runs really, really fast. Great dribbling as well. The weakness, awful end product. So, can you improve his end product? Can you make his end product good enough? All he can do really is play down the right hand side. You could use a position trainer on him. I've had a little play around. If you trained him to play centre forward, I don't think you'll be able to get his awareness and finishing high enough. You could try and get him left wing, left midfield. Don't think he's got long range curler, as you know he's not. Could still be worthwhile trying to get him on the left, having cut him side onto his right foot, but yeah, either way, end product's the issue. I don't think you'd ever be able to get his low pass high enough to make it worthwhile training him through the middle as an AMF or SS, even if you got that position on him with your position trainers. So I'm just going to look at this guy as a winger. We'll hit the game plan boost. So can we get him any end product? If we took a bunch off his dribbling, I don't want to take his ball control below 80. That's as low as I go with his dribbling. Dexterity, how low could we go with this? The trouble with the dexterity is that you've got plenty of acceleration to spare, and you don't need 90 balance on him, but offensive awareness is only 74. That's already a bit on the low side, so I don't really want to take much more off that. Lower body, again, you could easily lose some of that speed, but the kicking power, I don't really want to take his kicking power much lower. But we are desperate for some end product, so I'm going to take a bunch off that. We can live with 76 kicking power. Stamina's a concern, but it wasn't that great in the first place. So now I've got 20 points free. Can we get his passing at least up to 70? Yeah. What about shooting up to 70? Yeah. Now we've got 5 points left. 5 points. Where do we need something? Doesn't really matter too much. Put them both on finishing. And then one on aerial maybes. Yeah, I'd probably be tempted to do that. So he's still got 91 for dribbling there. We've kept the ball control at least at the 80 mark. Still got insane speed and acceleration. Still got 90 balance and high physical contact. That's pretty rare for a winger. And even though his end product still sucks, we've at least got him 70 plus for all his passing and his finishing there. I personally, if you get this guy and you plan to use him, I'll try and get some skills on there to improve his end product. One touch pass, through passing, long range shooting, first time shot, long range curler. At least a bunch of those skills I think would really make a difference with this guy, because as it is, you're going to have to be so careful not to ask too much from him with his passing or finishing. Otherwise, you're going to lose the ball and it's going to, your attack's going to break down. But if you just want to focus on what he's good at, if you just want a guy who's going to be really, really quick, really, really good on the ball, especially with the skill moves he's got, if you like doing skill moves, this guy is going to be a lot of fun. He's got a whole bunch of skill moves down here. He's got aerial superiority, so he'll be great at winning headers. And even with the game plan boost, his heading's only 50, so that's somewhat useless. But yeah, loads of skill moves, crazy pace, that dribbling 91. His tight possession's not brilliant, it's a bit of a shame. But he's still going to be great at dribbling. That balance at 90 and having physical contact so high as it is at 84 for a winger who's got great balance, who's got great dribbling and pace. I think you're going to notice that. Anyone who's played against this guy on eFootball or on pairs back in the day, he is horrible to play against to try and knock him off the ball. So yeah, some pretty major question marks over his end product. The attacking mess is not the best, but if you're just going to get him on the ball on the right hand side and just dribble away and barge your way through defenders, he could be a lot of fun. So yeah, if that's what you like, if you fancy having a player like that, he could be a lot of fun to use. But like I say, big question mark on the end product. But a good fun card to use, I reckon. Now we have Bellanova. So we've had him in an Italian league pack. I'm not sure if it's the current one or the previous one, but yeah, we've got a similar situation here. To be brutally honest, I don't think this is a particularly great card at all. We're actually onto the 5 stars now, and you can obviously see the main strength with this guy. He's got crazy pace, 99 speed there, and the acceleration's at 91. He's got great stamina as well, but it's not such a great story elsewhere. He's a fullback, and his defensive attributes are rubbish. On the ball, rubbish. Passing, loft isn't too bad, but low pass, rubbish. Can we take a bit of his pace away and make him good enough elsewhere? Well, I'm not sure. If we hit the game plan boost, this is the maximum boost we can get with one of the top managers. I wouldn't want to take more than 5 off his lower body because I don't want that kicking power going too low. Aerial, don't really need that. I'll take all those points back. Where do we need to boost him? Everywhere, really. What can we do? Can we get more defending on him? A bit. That's about as much as we can do. So in terms of his attributes, you can make him reasonable. You know, he's still got really, really good pace. Stamina's still good. Physical, not too bad. Balance is not particularly good at all. Defensively, significantly better now, but still a little bit iffy, especially with that awareness. On the ball, he's a bit better. Still got dodgy tight possession though. And then with his passing, low pass could be better, but we've improved that a bit. And the lofted pass has gone over 80. With pinpoint crossing, you should have a decent cross on him, but that's really where it ends with the skills. Long throw, not the most useful skill in the world. Nothing else. Where's interception, blocker, man marking, any of that? He's not got any of it. So sure, you could get this guy and put loads of skill trainers on him, given the skills he needs, but even with the skills, how good is he really going to be? For me, a guy is 6'2", low balance. He's not going to feel great on the ball, even if you improve his on the ball attributes as I have there. You're going to have to be a little bit careful with his passing. Crossing will be decent enough, but low pass a little bit iffy. And those defensive attributes, even if you put the skills on him, not brilliant. So yeah, if all you really care about in a fullback is that they can run fast and they'll last the distance, sure, this guy could be fairly decent. And he's not the worst card I've ever seen, but for a 5-star contract, honestly, I think this guy's just a bit crap, really, to be honest. Next up is Adingra from Brighton. So, first feature version we've had of Adingra. He's a wide man. On his positions right here, you see he's got SS and centre forward. Centre forward, I've tried training him. You can't really get his attacking awareness and his finishing high enough. SS, you could probably get away with it, but I don't think if you did that, you'd be building him much different to the way he'd be built as a winger, to be honest. So we'll just go with him as a winger. See how good we can make him. Obviously, to start off with, it's a bit of a recurring thing with this pack. This is the Speedsters pack. So he is a speedster. He's rapid. Good balance. Fairly tidy on the ball. Not a great deal of end product, though. I've seen a few players today like that. So how much can we improve that? Not a great deal. I mean, when you look at the way the points are allocated, we've already got an increase of 8 on his passing. So the next increase is going to be, the next 4 are going to be 3 points each. Are we going to be able to get enough points from elsewhere to really get that up? I mean, we could take a bit away from his lower body. Probably take 4 away from his lower body, actually. Let's go straight to the game plan boost. So if we take 4 off his lower body, we've still got 80 kicking power. I'm not going to go lower than that. Dexterity, we'll take 1 off that, and we still get 90 for balance, 80 offensive awareness. That frees up 12 points. And then you could just put 4, an increase of 4 straight in his passing. Is it worth doing that? I mean, if you end just a little bit lower, you can get his dribbling up to 90. You can get his ball control and his tight possession up to 90. Or maybe not tight possession. Certainly the ball control and dribbling, though. That might be better to do, to be honest. Really make the most of what he's best at. To be honest, that's probably the kind of build I'd do on him. Great pace, great balance, great on the ball, good attacking awareness for a wide man, and then just be careful not to ask too much from with his passing and finishing. So the next question is, has he got any skills that are going to compensate for the end product? The answer is yes. Interesting. So got a few skill moves for the dribblers. Soul control is nice. We've got long range curler and long range shooting and acrobatic finishing. So we've got some shooting skills, through passing, and we've also got super sub. So we've got a rapid super sub. You could bring this guy on out wide, and he could really do some damage against tired defenders. So that's interesting. Through passing and those shooting skills basically mean that, yes, you're still going to have to be careful not to ask too much of him with his end product, but he's going to be a bit more productive than we thought. So yeah, it's an interesting one. I still would say that with the end product, there's a question mark there, but if your main focus is on wide men, is to have someone who's rapid, who's really good on the ball, and he's able to basically just go past defenders and create problems that way, this guy looks really effective. As I mentioned, if you're going to play him as an SS, with the amount of points it would take to get his passing up and maybe his finishing, I don't think it would be worth it to really train him any differently to this. But if you did want to do that to try and get more end product, let me just see. Would I just do that, maybe? I would either do that and get his finishing up to the 80 mark, or I'll do it the other way around. Sacrifice him his finishing. In fact, you can't really get his passing up to 80, can you? No. Yeah, I'd either just leave it about that, to be honest, as an SS, or do what I just did there. Get his finishing up to 80, but the rest on passing. But I think the way he was initially, really maximise his dribbling. I think that was really nice. I think that's certainly if you're playing up wide, that's how I'd build him. You could tweak it a little bit for SS, but yeah, either way, this guy's got pace. He's going to be great on the ball. He's versatile, super sub, a little bit of end product as long as you're careful not to ask too much of him. Yeah, again, I think this guy could be pretty fun to use and he could be pretty effective, especially as a super sub coming off the bench with that pace. So yeah, I think this is a pretty decent card, to be honest. And next we have Iñaki Williams from Athletic Bilbao. So similar to Adingra here, we've got a guy who can play out wide or he can play through the middle as SS or attack as a centre forward. And again, as a centre forward, you can't really get his attacking awareness and his finishing high enough to really make it worthwhile training him for that position, in my opinion. I've got a version of him from, I think it was one of the Spanish League packs or something like that, maybe the Spanish League MVP pack last year. I was a bit naughty of mine because I used manual shooting, so I didn't put many points in his finishing, and I was able to really beef him up with his other attributes, and he's a brilliant striker for me. But if you need the points on his finishing like most people would, like I say, I don't think it's really worthwhile trying to train him for that position. And to make him an SS, similar to Adingra really, could you really get his end product high enough to make him good in that position? I'm not sure. If we go straight to that game plan boost there, just to see what we're working with, if you've got one of the highest rated managers, can you make him good enough as an SS? Can you give him the end product? You could take a bunch off the lower body there. You could take some of this away. Just do that. How high can you get his passing? You can't even get it to 80. I mean, it's not too bad. You could get away with that probably as an SS, but I don't know. I think training this guy to play out wide, like with the Adingra, I think that's really when you get how you're going to get the most out of him. So yeah, I'm gonna leave the dribbling on 10 actually. Not dribbling at 90 there. Passing doesn't need to be quite so high if he's out wide. But to be honest, we've got enough pace there. We've got the kicking power at 80. You could do with a bit more balance actually. Stick the whatever points we've got on dexterity. Maybe take a few away from passing. Yeah, maybe something like that. In fact, the lofted pass has gone down a bit, hasn't it? We'll keep that at the 70 mark. There we go. Looks nicer. Yeah, maybe it's that. I mean, that's not far from the auto allocation, but great pace. Kicking power is decent. Would like a bit more balance on him. Would like a bit more tight possession as well. So you're going to have to be careful on the ball with him. Could be a little bit awkward at times. He's about 6'1". So yeah, 6'1", the tight possession and balance being a bit low. Just be careful with him when you've got the ball at your feet. But the dribbling is great. When he's running at speed with the ball, really, really effective. Ball control is decent. Offensive awareness is good as well, playing him out wide. And then, again, same kind of thing with the Adingra. Just got to be careful with the end product. Don't ask too much of him. With the finishing, though, 77, it's not brilliant, but does have first-time shot and long-range shooting. So he's got a bit of end product there. Outside curl is a nice one if he's coming off the right flank. I would still probably look to put one or two skills on him. I think long-range curl is the most obvious one if you're going to play him on the left. Having this guy cutting in from the left flank onto his right foot with the pace and dribbling. Already got first time shot, long range shooting, and the finishing, like I say, it's not brilliant, but it's not too bad at 77. And if you got first time shot and long range shooting, if you add long range curler to that coming off the left flank, I think he's gonna be very capable of getting goals for you. He can certainly go past defenders. I think he's pretty effective, this guy. To be honest, I think I prefer Adingra overall. I think Adingra is just a little bit better as a winger. A little bit more end product about him. But this guy Iñaki, the version I've got, it's slightly better than this one, and I did train it a bit differently, like I say, but he can be very effective. Goes past defenders pretty easy with his pace and his dribbling. It's just he does feel that little bit awkward at times. The tight possession and the balance, you do slightly notice that. So I think if I'm picking between this guy and Adingra gets my vote. But this is also a decent card, and like I say, with the pace and the dribbling of this guy, if that's the kind of play he could be effective, I think, especially coming off the left flank, cutting inside onto his right foot, certainly capable of getting goals for you. So it's a similar card to Adingra. I think Adingra will probably get the nod out of the two from me, though. Now we have Okafor from AC Milan. So there was a version of him ages ago that was, I think it was one of those national team packs a long time ago. I got that. It was only a 3-star card, but it's pretty decent. I had a bit of joy with that one. I think I've still got it, actually. He's a bit different because it's kind of hard to know what to make of him. Clearly, he's a speedster. He's got great speed. He's not that great on the ball, but he's got a bunch of skill moves here. And he's also got quite high physical contact. I mentioned with Adama Traoré. Adama Traoré ends up with about 90 odd balance and 80 something physical contact. We've got the same kind of thing here with Okafor with the auto allocation of points. it's just difficult to know what he's really best at, because you look at the auto allocation here. He's a centre forward, he's a goal poacher. Attacking wins at 85 is alright, but finishing 82 is not brilliant. So do you take some points from elsewhere and try and get his finishing up? I mean, it's going to take that many points. I'm not sure it'd be worth it, to be honest. Do you try and retrain him to play him out wide? I'm not really sure. I feel like that might be a better idea. So, I mean, certainly for a start, with the amount of pace he's got, you can lose some of that. So if we go straight to their game plan boost, as we always do. So, with the top level manager, that's what we're looking at. I mean, 99 speed, 99 acceleration, that's amazing. But we do need to improve him a little bit elsewhere. We'll try first to get his finishing up. So, I'm just going to take one from nobody. I don't really want to lose that kicking power. In fact, I will do, because we do really need to get that finishing up. So we'll sacrifice some kicking power as well. I'm just going to take... I'll take 4 off dexterity initially. In fact, no, I won't, because we need that attacking awareness. So we can already get the attacking awareness and finishing both to 85. That's okay. He's a bit dodgy on the ball. I'm going to stick a couple on dribbling. So he gets up to 70 tight possession, up to 80 for dribbling. Couple more on passing, gets low pass up to 70. He's got 4 on aerial. Don't know if he needs that. If we take 2 off, we're still at 80 for jumping. So he might get on the end of some crosses. And now we've got 7 points left. I'm going to put 2 back on dexterity and then 1 more on passing. So as a centre forward, I think I'll probably do that. We've not really got his finishing up much, to be honest. Just the 1. I think he's usable though as a centre forward. He's different, like I say. Having that physical contact in the 80s along with balance in the 90s. Crazy pace. The offensive awareness is decent. Be careful with his finishing. Don't ask too much. But it can be effective. Like I say, he's an interesting one. He's a bit different. I had some joy with the version of him that I've got. He's hard to knock off the ball. If we look down here, as you see, there's no first-time shot. So if you are going to use this guy as a centre forward, first-time shot I think is a very important skill to add. He does have long-range curler. That's a good one. As I mentioned, there's a few skill moves there and soul control. Acrobatic finishing is nice. Heel trick likewise. He's also a super sub. So he's an interesting one. He's got an interesting set of skills there. The attributes are very interesting as well. The way they're weighted, like I say, is a little bit different. Centre forward, you will need first time shot. And that finishing there is a little bit questionable. So be careful with his finishing. But I do think he could be very usable as a striker. But if you were going to train him to play out wide, I think the dexterity becomes less important. I think I'm a lot more comfortable taking a few off there if he's playing out wide. Take a couple off the physical. He's not going to be going for as many headers. We've still got 80 physical contact. What else are we going to do? Definitely want to get his dribbling up a bit. Get his ball control to 80. Could do with a bit more passing. The finishing is not as important if he's playing out wide. Maybe just leave it at the 80 mark. Would that do it? A bit more dribbling is needed really, isn't it? We can afford to lose a bit off his passing. I would probably leave it a couple more in his low body actually. Actually another one. I'm going to take 1 more of passing. Then we get his kicking power to 80. Yeah, I'd probably do that. So out wide, I wouldn't use this guy on the right hand side. He's right footed. His lofted pass is terrible. Even if you gave him pinpoint crossing, his crossing won't be great. I think if you're going to play him as a wide man, wide left, crazy pace, physical contact at 80, balance 90, he's going to be really hard to knock off the ball. We've got his on the ball attributes a bit higher there. So he's up into the 80s for ball control and 86 for dribbling. Offensive awareness is good for wide man at 83. Passing, not brilliant. Be careful not to ask too much with his passing, but finishing at 80. I think as a wide man, coming off the left flank with long range curler there, it could be really effective. Could be a really interesting one. So again, like with the Adama Traoré, it's going to be hard to knock off the ball with that high physical contact alongside that great balance and crazy pace. Very decent dribbling. I think it could be effective wide left. I think you've got 2 ways you could use this guy, wide left or centre forward. I think both ways there are question marks. Obviously, the passing is a little bit low for this guy. And on the ball, I think most people, for a pacey, skillful winger, you'd want those attributes to be a bit higher. So he's not perfect as a winger. And again, like with most of these cards, there's 1 or 2 skills you'd want to add. And then with centre forward, the finishing is a little bit on the low side. But both ways, you've got a guy who's a little bit different. He's got an interesting kind of balancing of his attributes there, an interesting selection of skills. And keep in mind, he's a super sub as well. So, bit of a strange one. And he's not ideal in any of his positions. But there are a lot of qualities there. And he's quite an interesting option. So, he might not be everyone's cup of tea. But he could be an interesting one to pick up. So, now on to our goalkeeper. in the Speedsters pack, we have got Szczęsny with 78 speed. That's a pretty nice boost to his speed. I'm not sure you're ever really going to benefit from a goalkeeper having pace. It's a bit of a random one. But yeah, ultimately, a nice little bonus, I guess, to have. But let's look at the important things. He's a goalkeeper. What's he actually like at being a goalkeeper? Straight to the game plan boost there, get the maximum boost. So with auto allocation, is he that amazing as a keeper? Not really. Even with the full game plan boost, awareness goes to 88, reach 88, but reflexes only gets to 85. Before the game plan boost, he's only 83 for reflexes. Can we get that any higher? We take away the jumping, because according to Konami logic, goalkeepers don't need to be able to jump. What's that one? Let's take a few off here. It's quite tall, he doesn't need that much reach. If we got 8 on each of those, I mean, that's pretty solid. He's still not amazing, but gets 88 on those 3 most important ones, 83 for catching, 84 for parrying. I would say he's a fairly solid keeper with quite remarkable speed for a goalkeeper, but I don't think he's amazing. I think if you're a Juventus fan, if you're from Poland, I imagine there's a good chance you'll be keen to get this guy. He is a solid keeper, and obviously there aren't many goalkeepers with that much speed, so he could be a fun one to pick up if you are a Juve fan or you're Polish. But I think, to be honest, for most people, I don't think he's that amazing as a keeper. If you really need a goalkeeper, if you're new to the game, if you don't have many goalkeeper options, he might be worth picking up if you've got a five-star contract knocking around. But I don't think we can really take into account that speed. I don't think it's going to really be significant with this guy. I think we're just going to look at these attributes here, and if we're looking at just at these attributes here, and this is with the full boost, with one of the highest rated managers. Is he a good goalkeeper? Yes. Is he an amazing one? No. He's just nothing special. So you really need a keeper. You've got some sentimental reason to want him. Sure, he'd be a pretty solid card to pick up, but otherwise I don't think it's really that exciting a card, to be honest. And we finish up with a centre-back. We've got Rüdiger. So, solid looking card. He's got decent pace for a centre-back. I'm not sure he's the quickest of centre-backs. I think for a pack called Speedsters, there are some centre-backs they could have included that would have been more appropriate. Mickey van der Ven, anyone? Surely he's the most obvious choice. He's got absolutely ridiculous pace for a centre-back, but apparently we get Rüdiger. So, yeah, fair enough. He's pretty good, obviously. He's a destroyer. Defensive attributes are pretty strong. With the game plan boost, as you can see, is only going to be 1 below 90. We'll hit the boost straight away. So with the maximum boost available, very strong defensive attributes. Down the left, pretty par for the course for a centre-back. Nothing great there. Jumping and physical both in the 90, so he can be very strong physically and aerially. And again, as I touched on initially, speed's great. The acceleration's not brilliant. I wonder if we can shuffle these points around a little bit. We only need 1 point on his dexterity to get his acceleration to the 70 mark, which would be nice. We'll just look at his skills quickly, then we'll try and shuffle his points around. So, heading and aerial superiority, with the attributes he's got, the fact that he's 6'3", he's going to be very strong in the air, very physically strong, which is important for a centre-back. We've got man marking, interception, blocker, sliding tackle. I think the only one he really needs is acrobatic clearance, to be honest. So he's got a very good selection of skills for a centre-back. But like I say, it'd be nice if we could shuffle those points around a little bit, maybe get his dexterity up. So if we just nick one from defending, so we're still at the 90 mark for awareness. Got 3 points there, stick one on dexterity. We could actually spare at least 1 from his aerials. I won't go any lower because we don't want to go below 80 for heading, but that frees up 4 points. I think I'll just put 3 on dexterity and then just shove 1 on passing, to be honest. So we're still in the 90s for jump and physical. Still 90 plus for 3 of those 4 defenses, but just got a bit more acceleration on him, a little bit more balance as well. Not a massive difference, to be honest, to the auto allocation, but that's what I would do with him. So we've got a centre-back who's quick. He's very strong physically and aerially. The engagement's a little bit on the low side, but the other defensive attributes are really strong. It's a good centre-back card, to be honest. If you like Rüdiger, we've had versions of him in the past where one of his defensive attributes, I assume probably engagement on the previous ones as well, was a bit on the low side. I don't think it's quite so low this time. I think it's certainly workable at 86 with the game plan boost. Would like it to be higher still, though. But yeah, I think it's a pretty good version of Rüdiger. If you like the guy for a 5-star contract, I think it's a great card to pick up. Destroyer, no real obvious weakness there. Good selection of skills. Yeah, you want a centre-back, you like this guy. Good card for a 5-star nominating contract. So there you go. 8 players in that pack. I think it's an interesting one. I don't think it's exactly full of brilliant players. I think Rüdiger's a pretty much a top level centre back. And outside of that, none of them are really that amazing. But I think you've got a few in there who are quite interesting. Could be quite fun. I think Okafor, it could be an interesting one. He's a little bit different. Traoré, he's just a meme basically. He's a tank on the ball. That pace and the physical strength. I think Adingra's quite a nice one as well. Iñaki could be pretty effective for you. Portu looks like a neat little player. I think the only real dud in there is Bellanova, to be honest. I'm not a big fan of him. He doesn't look like a great card to me. But yeah, on the whole, it's an interesting selection there. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I've already done reviews of the Turkish and Japanese League Player of the Month packs. Those are nominating contract packs. Those are live on the channel already. And I will be doing one more video on all these packs. I'll be doing one to review the 2 match pass players. We've got Diaby and Saliba. And in that video, I'll also do a summary of which players I think are the best value for 3, 4, and 5-star contracts out of all of these packs. So keep your eyes out for that video. That'll either go up tonight or tomorrow. Hopefully you found this video useful. Thank you for watching as always. I will see you soon.